Vic, I'm giving you 3 more chapters. If you cannot give me a good reason why you exist at this point, I swear to God, I will be reading an Inuwasa story in your place. So, come on, Vic. Give me a plot. Anything. Anything at all. Just something. The problem was that you had a perfectly good conclusion 3 chapters ago. You won't accept it? That Sonata wasn't sure it would be fine. She knew Sunset meant well, and she knew under most circumstances it would be alright, but now she wasn't sure. The workroom had a smell to it that always called Sonata, a mixture of mountain air, fresh-cut wood, and industrial-strength insulation. Okay, that was an acquired taste and sense, but hey, it worked. But not this time. As she stood in front of her easel, sucking at the end of her ponytail for comfort, Sonata had to admit she had not encountered a problem like this before. She had been stymied in the past, to be sure, many times. Many times. But most of those problems were ones that she could share with her sisters, or recent times with Sunset and her friends. Even the issue of realizing her feelings for Sunset had not been so high on the obstacle as this one. Since Sunset had taken the first range up, but not this time. As much of a non-problem scene, Sonata was forced to admit to herself she was laboring under the worst problem a painter could possibly have. A problem all-encompassing, so vile and cruel, artists of stereotypes never speak its name. Artist block? Sunset asked. Sonata made a muffled affirmative noise, her face pointed to the table. Sunset didn't say anything for a while. She seemed to realize that this was an issue Sonata just couldn't get over. Sonata remained with her head resting on the polished wood, still sucking the end of her ponytail aimlessly. Don't do that, Sunset said, tugging on the ponytail from Sonata's mouth. You can still paint with that. She sighed. Well, sigh. I guess I see that he's seeing you up. I don't get why you just don't go back to drawing what you want to draw. Because he told me that capital people expect better. Sonata slurred through the table's surface. Dear, I get you're down and everything, but it's hard for me to understand you with that head on the table. Sunset informed her with a little smile. What's it gonna take for you to give me a nickname, silly Simming? As soon as I come up with a good one, I'm sure to tell you. Sonata raised her head, insisting ears to start stroking her ponytail again. What's this that? Well, I know he's sponsoring me. He's giving us so many good things. She explained morosely. True. Let's no longer lose that. For either of us. I like living here. So do I, Sunset said, putting her hand over Sonata's. But you don't have to push yourself so hard that you're just not happy. Your particular job depends on you being in a good mood. Sonata hit her hand on the table again. I know. Sunset treated her again and now face on the table. Okay, why don't you try explaining to me why you're having difficulty? What actually is the problem you're having with these pains? Maybe I suggest something. Well, Sonata began slowly. She screwed up her face as a sign of deep thinking. It's kind of, it's like, sort of, yes. Let's get good on having an oomph. Character, now the other thing. Color, shape, detail. Sunset thought for a moment. Sonata shook her head, gesturing impatiently. With her hand trying to anger into dear life. Life? Yeah, that. They don't look right to you? No, they look, well, lifeless. Like they're just paintings. Although Sonata didn't guess it, Sunset decided not to point out that, in actual fact, they were just paintings. Sunset was not an artsy type, but she was a student of magic, which had its own friend, Joy DeVay. She thought that she knew then what the problem was, and thought back to what Princess Celestia had always attempted to tell her was a good way to overcome it. Sonata simply balanced her hand on one hand, staring into the grains of wood on the table. I'll probably go and try some inspiration. Sonata looked at him with a frown. The phrasing threw her off. Go get some? She asked. Sunset seemed to realize her blunder. I mean, we go out somewhere and try to inspire you to draw something. You were inspired when we went to Whitetail, and you used to get awesome ideas at Applejack's farm. True. So are we finally going to get some lesbian smut in? Because I swear to God, that's the only thing that's keeping me going right now! Well, he wants me to draw things that appeal to the capital, portraits and cityscapes. Well then, let's go to a big city for a day, Sunset said cheerfully. You've drawn a city before. she said, gesturing to the hallway. Personally, Sonata was against framing and putting up her own paintings in their house. At first, she get buzzed every time she went past the first one Sunset insisted he put up in the lounge. On a sunny winter day at Applejack's farm. Over time, her misgivings left her, and Sunset encouraged her to put up more of her paintings. The only one liked up was the one in the bedroom. Had come from her private collection of stalkerist doodles and paintings of Sunset that she had done before they got together. It still made her cringe to think of how dim she had been about the whole thing. It seemed obvious to her now. Even after they got together officially, Sonata intended to keep those drawings personal. But on the day in the mood, the damn folder had dropped and sent her private stats flying over the floor. She had time to pick them up before Sunset was on them. Sonata, huh? You're spacing out there. So what do you think? Day trip? We can fight Rainbow. I don't think she's doing anything today. Sonata thought about it. Maybe tomorrow, she said, standing up. Sunset looked feeling surprised at her standing. Where are you going? Not back to work. No, let's get some air. I think I'll take a walk and clear my head. Oh, well, I'll be here when you get the door closed. Sunset remained sitting at the kitchen table, hands clasped and looking troubled. Sonata had not exited the house without a purpose in mind. None of her friends had so far been able to help with her block. Rarity and Sunset had been proud to give him the best advice with talks of seeking inspiration. But this was not about getting inspiration, about finding something new to paint. This was about painting something she really didn't want to paint. Applejack and Rainbow both suggested plotting through, about facing the issue head on, and to use Rainbow's specific choice of vocabulary, making it work for you. Even to this day, Sonata had no inkling of what that meant. Flashlight's solution was to watch Rama instead, and then suggest drawing other things, maybe a bunny or a kitty cat, and hoped that the newly developed feelings of fuzzy-wuzzy sweetness gave her the confidence to go on. Sonata faintly tried, but quickly found that she had an allergy to cats, and bunny rabbits just creeped her out. How she had not realized her cat allergy until now was still beyond her. Piggy Eye had been the least helpful, and not the most enthusiastic help. Her idea had been to distract her from the problem by inviting her to the Cakes Lady's birthday bash, and hoped that the sights and sounds of laughing children, intermingled with fun and games and sweets, would bore her out so much that she could get up on paintings. The reason for this being least helpful was because she actually did get all pent up and excited, only for this good mood to punch her like an old tired one when she got back from the party, stuffed full of cake to her workroom. She took the bus to the town, feeling nostalgic, hoping Hoity-Toity wasn't there for once. She went to the art gallery again, not to see her own pictures, but this one painting she had seen a long time ago with Sunset, when they had gone on their first date. A massive white piece of canvas as big as a wall, with seemingly arbitrary splattering of paints and squiggles. To an ordinary observer, it seemed like nothing special, just a bit of new age art that people like to try and interpret to mean anything and everything. Whilst it might have meant nothing at all, couldn't art just be beautiful? I didn't have to see deep philosophical, political meaning behind it. Sonata always shook her head when she heard people discussing that sort of thing. She sighed, looking at the monstrously large painting. Anyone who figured out what the picture did would actually think it depicted some great and complex scenery, but actually the resulting image was simplicity itself. Sonata set herself out to the center to see the picture again. As the lines coalesced, she saw the true picture within. She smiled at it contently. Man and woman, both rather plain-looking, but with the warmest of happiness and looks on their faces, stared out at the picture, their hands clasped. Around them, in 1,000 places, in 1,000 different sizes, fonts, and languages, were the words, "Come on and be happy!" It didn't matter how depressed Sonata felt. This painting always made her cheer up a little. She wished she had a copy of it at home. It couldn't solve her current problem, of course. But she felt she needed prepping up a little, and a matured hope that would help with confidence. It didn't help, but it was worth it anyway. She stood there a few more moments, wondering whether she should take a full tour or just leave. As she had extra distance in the gallery, she was free to come and go as she pleased, but she still liked to see her paintings and sculptures. Flora stares at her, rather tired keys devoted to scriptures made of wax, pink white gloves and white rag Swiss Army knife. "Oh, my number one artist!" "Oh no," Sonata thought, not turning around. An arm insinuated around her shoulders. "Coming to sculpt the competition," he said with no amusement. "The exhibition is for another few weeks. The more exquisite pieces have not yet arrived. They're carrying up, much like you, for the moment." He stretched an arm before them, as though surveying a bold new landscape. His cuffs had golden links, and his fingernails were manicured to perfection. Sonata covertly inspected her own nails. Whilst neat and even, they were nowhere near as resplendent as his own. You think there'll be a lot of them? A lot of them, he laughed, holding her closer. Why was he always so clingy? My dear, every person in the city with any pretensions to the name of artiste is going to know how to work here. The entire entrance hall is being refitted to accommodate them all. Well, dozens of visits talent anyway, he admitted with a chuckle. Oh, Sonata said, unable to think of anything else to say. Oh yes, by the way, he began as though thought occurred to him. Fancy and Flo were most impressed by what they saw of you. Oh yes, very impressed. Although, he gave her a pat on the back. I think we could weld them a little more, eh? He said with a wink. I think with the right attire, the right air, you could very well be presentable. Very presentable indeed. Presentable? Sonata asked nervously. But of course, he cried exuberantly, forcing her hand in the air. Presentation is key, my dear. Talent is the one thing, but you yourself must express it with your grace and eloquence. In the capital, this is all completely expected. Not amount to an insult to show them anything less. Sonata hadn't been quite so nervous before. She was now. Grace and eloquence for realsies. There you go, you see. You'll be announced at all. Hoity-toity said confidently. His closer tone always sounded more mocking when he didn't mean to be. You know that friend of yours, you know, the one whose parents own that quaint little clothes shop? Ready? Yes, that's the one, he agreed. I'll have to do you up an outfit for the evening. He pulled out a tiny black wallet, slid several bills into her hand. Make it a nice one, will you? Believe me when I say that no express is too great for a night like this one. He ruffled her hair rather condescendingly and made her walk away. Sonata was now feeling hot and cold all over. It's like having a boiling kettle poured in one ear and ice water dripped to the other. Sweat was forming in uncomfortable areas as he suddenly became aware of tiny sounds all around. Small details of things he wouldn't pay attention to. She wondered if he was going to be sick. Heidi? He inquired, looking back. He blinked a few times as he saw how green she was going. I don't think I can. She really thought she was going to fall right then and there. Hoyt seemed to notice the danger signs. He pulled out a handkerchief and used it as a napkin, guided her by the shoulder to the bathrooms. Paying no heed to the male female signs, he led her into the woman's, being careful to avoid being directly in front of her. Leaning her to a sink, he backed up a little, began inspecting himself in the mirror for any creases on Linda's suit. Sorry, she groaned. I don't think I can do this. Nonsense, Hoyt said. He was also trying to sound confident, but Sonata could hear the slight tremor of trepidation in his voice. He patted her shoulder indignantly. You're fine. You just got a little bit of jitters. That's a good thing. Embrace the jitters, he said manfully, holding out two clenched fists. Holly wanted the bathroom one moment and uttered, oh, a surprise. Get out. Can't you see we're having a crisis here? The lady backed away swiftly. I can't do the paintings. What are you talking about? Your work has always been wonderful. I hope I don't discount anyone. The ones he asked me to paint, they just won't come out right. Sonata, sweetie, there's an easy way out of this. You're putting yourself too much effort here. Just paint what you like beforehand, and then paint the cityscape. Distract yourself for a little while, then come back. It's not freaking rocket science. He bit his lip. Oh, I see. Altus block. He sounded more worried now. Despite how manicured they were, he chewed on a thumbnail for comfort. Apparently thinking hard. Well, he began. I'm sure you'll come around. We have 3 weeks to go, you know. That's plenty of time. Sonata's reply to this was hardly encouraging. Pressing herself off the sink top with an almost gurgling sound, she rushed to the nearest stall. Hoyt winced as the sound of vomit hitting the bowl of wire echoed through the lavatory. This was British. Oh, so undignified. I say, are you alright? I say yes, I feel much better. Sonata emerged, still looking pale and wan. Hoyt stared at her, slightly repulsed. Look, he sighed in a sobering tone. All the greats throughout history have suffered nervousness and stage fright. You have to overcome it in order to be the best you can be. I guess, Sonata said, wiping her mouth on some paper towels. Doesn't mean it sounds so brutal. It is brutal, my dear, he said solemnly. The issue seems to be an inability to do paintings I requested. I assure you, the capital has certain expectations, and we must meet them as leaders of the fashionable world. How do you do it? Sonata asked. Well, desperation in her voice. I'm not a leader. I'm not famous or one of the greats or anything. How do I do it? He looked at her long and hard through his purple-tinted glasses. He seemed to be digging something within himself. He sailed long and slowly, as though they were about to say something we really would not rather say, or whatever he was about to do was something he really would not do. Well, he said, Sonata blinked in surprise. He'd never heard him sound so uncertain before. His cultured accent disappeared almost entirely. There have been ways that some of the greats have, given themselves a little help. Help? Like inspiration or something? Cicero sensed down thought. You could say that, Hoy said, still sounding like he was measuring every word. He gave her another long stare, then looked back at the entrance of the room, as though checking where someone was coming in. Sonata's gaze secretly glanced in the same direction. As he said so, he suddenly put Sonata in another stall, avoiding one filled with sick. Sonata squeaked, but Hoy pressed a hand to her mouth. She felt in her held hair for a few moments in silence. Sonata felt her heart racing for her fluttering stomach filled with latent dread. What was going on? What was he doing? Tight confines of stall. The two of them were immediately close. Silvery hair hanging out into her own blue friends. Oh, I know where this is going! Yeah! I need your word. Hoy whispered to her, looking over his glasses eye. Then if I help you now, you'll never be able to learn about it to anyone. Anyone at all. Oh, God, are we doing drugs? Do you understand me? Sonata felt terrified with his hand over his mouth, his body uncontrollably close to her own. More out of fear of what was happening than anything else, she gave a jerky nod. After a second or two, Hoy let go of her mouth. Your word, he said sharply. Please don't do drugs. Please not drugs. Please don't do it. Please, let's not do a drug PSA. Please, God, let's not do a very special episode of District. Please, I beg you. I promise, but where are you? While she stared at her question, Hoy reached into his pocket. Her eyes followed the hand, heart chilling at the thought of what it might be as he was reaching for. It was nothing more terrifying than a small silver case. A rather cigar's case. But Hoy knew he didn't smoke, did he? I know how you feel, Hoy said, again without overly cultured accent he put on. Glamorous though it is, my job has down periods. Sometimes I need a little something to get me up and going again. Sonata watched as he opened up the case. Inside was a little stash of little white pills, looking to Sonata like aspirin or regular tablets. What are they? Hoy hesitated for a split second. Concentration boosters. LSD. At least that's what I call them, he said furtive. What are they for? To help you relax. Take some of the tension away. You'd be surprised at the kind of work you could do with a few after extreme relaxation. He explained, a little of his usual attitude coming back. Sonata scrutinized the pills for a moment. Are these? Hoy cut her off. So I'm talking about acetite, acid, aceto, Alice, angel in the sky, animal, backbreaker, bell, bot, Simpson, battery acid, beast, big D, black acid, black star, black sunshine, black test, blotter acid, blotter cube, blue acid, blue bell, blue chair, blue haven, blue microdots, blue mist, blue moon, blue sky, blue star, blue test, brown bomber, brown dots, California sunshine, cherry dome, chief, Chinese dragons, coffee, conductor, contact lens, crackers, crystal tea, cupcakes, dental floss, dinosaurs, stones, stars, double dome, LCD, electric Kool-Aid. Electric Kool-Aid? Understay, fields, flash, flat blues, ghosts, golden dragon, golf balls, goofy, Kota, great parfait, green sleds, crazy seals, hots, Hawaiian sunshine, hawk, haze, headlights, heavenly blue, hits, instant zen, Jesus Christ acid, kaleidoscope, lens, lime acid, life, Lucy in the sky with diamonds, melon yellow, Mika, microdot, mighty queen, mighty detergent. Oh, so there's the brain voice. Mother of God, newspapers, undying bells, orange cubes, orange haze, orange micros, orange lenses, algae, paper acid, pearly cakes, pellets, pink blotters, pink panthers, pink robots, pink wedges, pink witches, pizza, potato, whatever, pure love, purple bellows, purple haze, purple hearts, purple flats, recycled royal blues, russet sickles, sacrament, sandals, smears, spitted dye, square dancing tickets. What? Strawberry fields are forever. Sugar cubes, sugar lumps, sunshine, towels, takoyaki, dear lights, teddy bears, ticket, Uncle Sid, Valley dolls, vodka asking, wedding bells, weds, white dust, white fluff, white lightning, white Owsley, window glass, window pane, yellow dimples, yellow sunshine, Zen. I'm talking about LSD, baby! Don't speak of this to anyone. He passed the pear to them in her hand. She held it for a moment or two, then tried to hand them back. I don't want them. I don't want you to feel like you have to have them. In this case, something for you to fall back on. Sonata hesitated as they pressed her fingers over her pills. She didn't really want them. She had no idea what they were. Were they legal? Given the way Hoyi was acting, she guessed they probably weren't. Listen to me. Hoyi began, placing both hands on her shoulders. As your patron, it's my job and my wish for you to be successful. Because that will reflect well on me. As a person, however, I'll tell you that this doesn't mean I have any particular regard for you. If you fail, I cannot go down with you. Our relationship, such as it is, rests entirely on your ability to produce. The way it is, that happens, I rather spare you the additional pain of thinking I was your friend. We're not your friends, understand me?
Un momento. Thanks to you introducing Fleur and Fancy to her, Sonata now has connections. So you can start making deals for better people. I suggest you start being her friend or else. And why am I still here?
Sonata didn't respond at first. She felt so she had frozen. As much as she wasn't particularly fond of Hoyi, she understood this to be an act of kindness. They were business partners, but telling her that after that fact would, she realized it had been a blow. Close the scene. He was trying to prepare her for a possible and unpleasant outcome.
Thanks.
Those keep the pills. You don't need to take them. Just remember if you're in a bad place, they can help.
With that, he exited the stall.
Sonata remained inside, leaning against the fire.
What's your problem?
She heard Tori ask indignantly. His upper class answered back in place. Ever need to see him try and settle before?
Sonata made her way home with her mind occupied by a terrifying prospect of whatever it was that Toyi had given her. Her mind, she knew she ought to just throw them away. She didn't know what they were. Hoyi and I explained what they were with any clarity, more than likely illicit. With all this in mind, she wanted no part in them. She knew all too well what an addiction could do to a person. She and her sisters had been addicted for years. On the other hand, she didn't throw the pills away, but sat them away in her pocket before leaving the bathroom. Despite misgivings, something what hoity-toity sent back in her mind.
Sometimes it's comforting to know you have something to fall back on.
She couldn't deny just as these words, not without her insights were still churning. She could never remember feeling never in her life. Terrifying, yes. Depressed, sure. Suicidally so. But never nervous. It wasn't fear of what had been or what had been happening, but a fear of the future. She could not remember having so much to lose. She was walking up the hill towards her house, distractedly fingering the pills in her pocket. Finally, some fingering action! When the sound pervaded her distractedness a little too late. Looking up, she had a brief sight of a wild rainbow mane in her hair, peering suddenly over the hill in front of her. But suddenly, though, she had been hit by a stampeding horse. Sonata's hands flew over her pockets, too late to prevent her fall. Next thing she knew, she was flat on her back. Raven had second performed some sort of fancy footspin to keep her on her feet. Oh my gosh, she said anxiously, still stalking on the spot. Are you okay? Sissa didn't see that, did she? She's gonna kill me. You know she saw that. Yeah, you're right. Rainbow muttered, looking around for any sign of the alpha lioness. Hey, you dropped something. Sonata was rubbing her chest.
Sonata was rubbing her chest. Sonata was rubbing her. Ow!
Trying to overcome her wicked feeling, Rainbow reached down and started rubbing her chest too. Ow! She scrutinized the pills for a moment and went pale. What the hell are you doing with these? She hissed. Sonata sounds uncomprehendingly. With what? She asked, her hand automatically reaching her pocket. Heart missed a beat. Oh, indeed. Rainbow said seriously, her deep magenta eyes, so like Sonata's, boring her own. You want to try explaining? She asked, holding him out. Sonata's brain worked furiously. Without a hand of warning, her hand shot out and seized the pills back. She considered herself lucky as Rainbow's reaction time was practically legendary. Hey! Please don't tell Sunset. I'm not taking them seriously. Rainbow scowled for a moment or two, then seized her by the scruff of the neck. Against her protestations, Rainbow hauled Sonata over to a divide, between the two houses without cars. Occupants asked me to let go of her. Standing and waiting in rows, she pointed her hand to containing the pills. Spill! Now! And don't try to say I was just holding it for someone nonsense. Not holding it for anyone, She bit her lip, trying to hold back her latent guilt. She explained briefly about what had transpired in the gallery. And again, to mention who it was that recovered the pills from, as best he could. Rainbow scowled so the entire explanation. When Sonata was done, he sighed long and hard. I swear I wasn't going to use them. Sonata pleaded, her hands clenched together. I don't even know what they are. Well, I do. Rainbow glared. She snapped her fingers and gestured to see them again. Sonata held them out. Rainbow peered them out closely. Yep, I thought that was what they were. What? It's part of the wonderful Academy entrance course to be able to recognize a whole bunch of stuff like this, so people don't try to sell us illegal substances. I don't need a course because I'm awesome as is. All these things will get you relaxing alright. And you're a maid probably. They're relatively harmless. But that's the thing about drugs being illegal. The people who make it don't exactly care about what happens so long as you get paid. Think they're dangerous? Let me tell you about how dangerous and what not to do when you're being given illegal drugs. Today on a very special episode of Legendary Reads. I don't know if the thunderclap just came through onto Yeti, but see? Even the weather team outside don't like you, Fick! Rainbow seemed to consider this. Her scowl melting a stern frown. So now it's not my place to tell you how to live your life. But as your friend, I think you should throw these away. Now, if you knew that these were legit, I wouldn't have a problem. But if you don't know, it's not worth the risk, in my opinion. Sunset was out when Sonata returned home. Up in her workroom, Sonata stared at the paintings before her, all the stages of semi-completion. The one she hated most, and yes, it was the right word, was the largest. A 5x3 portrait of some guy from some place Sonata had only the vaguest recollection from her time at school. Some national hero, famous for doing something a long time ago. Halsey had the most boring military uniform ever devised. A gray and green one that made it look like it was coated in river sleds. The face it was oddly square, with ridiculously large sideburns. The background was set with a bronze cat, and top of hangings appropriate for the era. It was apparently that sort of thing the capital was very fond of. Sonata hated the sight of it. So far removed from anything she had done before. Anything she painted usually filled her with a sense of intrigue and excitement. An idea she wants to finish, something beautiful might be the outcome. She couldn't feel that now. She knew that even if she finished it, the picture would be dull. The man in it equally so, the background cold. Oh, for crying out loud, Sonata, just paint what you like and then finish this. Just throw it away as an embarrassment. Or only dusty and bygone. No life in it. And scrounged through so she would, for her imagination, to find some way to make it interesting. She could think of nothing. Her hand drifted to her pocket, feeling the pills through the fabric. She took them out and put them in a little tin to house her clean toothbrushes. No one would find them there. She only used her brushes for anything. Hearing her door downstairs, she remained where she was. The situation seemed hopeless, from every single angle. She saw the sunset downstairs. It was filled with a deep appreciation for her being there. Sunset was only comfort now. Sonata needed her. Oh boy, she needed her. Anything that Sunset Zero was good at, aside from knowing about magic, cooking, having good grades at school, her freaking knowledge of accounting, and her seemingly psychic ability to know when Sonata was trying to sneak in the last bit of cake from the kitchen, was giving advice. And Sonata needed some advice right now, and perhaps comforting. She needed to know that Sunset was there for her. Again, today on a very special episode
Are we really doing this? Is this really what you got, Vic?